Now, during his presidential campaign, Donald Trump promised to come down hard on companies that send their jobs overseas. Now, that was actually a good thing. It's one of the few things I actually agreed with Donald Trump on. Now, he particularly went after a company named Carrier. Now, it's an air conditioning company, and he basically successfully painted them as the face of corporations that have abandoned America, and he promised to stop those jobs from going to Mexico. Well, mission accomplished, right? Kind of. Now, The Hill and other outlets are reporting that the company that owns Carrier has agreed to keep nearly 1,000 jobs that were slated to move to Mexico. He wanted to keep them in Indiana. Now, in return, Carrier will receive $7 million worth of tax breaks over the next 10 years from Indiana to keep those jobs in the state. Now, look, that's good news for those 1,000 workers, right? I'm happy for them. I'm a fellow working class person. I've had my job outsourced before, so I understand. A lot of them are happy about this. Some are a little skeptical, and there are people that they're not sure what to think, and they're not sure if what's going on is actually real. Now, this deal would cover 800 workers from the Indianapolis furnace plant, an additional 300 researchers and headquarters positions that weren't originally planned to go to Mexico. So actually, he saved 800 jobs from going to Mexico. Okay, well. However, you do remember when Donald Trump said he would save all those jobs, right? Do you remember that?
Oh, I remember.
Oh, yeah. So he said he was going to try to save all those jobs, but it turns out he just couldn't do it. He couldn't negotiate those. There are still a lot of jobs that will move from Indianapolis to Mexico. That is 600 jobs. And then Carrier also still plans to close a second plant in Huntington, Indiana, that would shift another 700 jobs to Mexico. So here's your tally. You have saved 1,000 jobs, but have lost 1,300 jobs at a cost of $7 million over the next 10 years. I don't know if you'd call that a good deal. I don't know.
No,
I don't think I would.
But at least the transfer will be a little difficult because they'll have to deal with the wall.
Well, remember, Ron, it's got a big, beautiful door in it.
Oh yeah, and it's going to be part fence too. I forgot about that.
Yeah,
it's going to be a wall fence hybrid, right? He said that on 60 Minutes.
It'll be big and beautiful.
Believe me.
It'll be big and beautiful.
It's going to be nothing. That's what it's going to be. Nothing. Even though Trump won, I still say this: that the only time we're going to see a wall on our borders is if we piss Canada off enough.
Wrong.
I don't think so.
Trump says,
"We'll see, man." I know. We'll see.
All right. Now, look, there are jobs. These jobs are staying, by the way, because, as I said, Donald Trump agreed to give this company tax breaks and incentives, about $7 million over 10 years, for less than 1,000 jobs. Now, that comes to roughly $875 of taxpayer money for each job saved. So, Indiana, Hoosiers, every one of you have just paid $875 to a corporation to keep a job here. Congratulations. Now, as I said, I thought Donald Trump made great deals. I thought he made the best deals. Sounds like this one could have been a lot better. And let me break down why. For one, where was the strength? Where was Donald Trump in his strength? It wasn't there. It was gone. I thought he was going to do tariffs and other penalties if they move. Instead, Donald Trump essentially bribed them to stay. Oh, please stay, corporation. Please. We'll give you tax cuts. Massive, tremendous tax cuts. Tremendous.
Believe me.
And that's it. Now, the problem with that is that you end up creating an incentive for every corporation to threaten the government with, hey, I'm going to move my jobs overseas unless you give me that same bribe. That's not good. It's almost like a monkey giving his banana to the alpha male. Donald Trump just gave this corporation our banana. That was our banana. Fucker.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what? He
Yeah,
says,
I mean, maybe the way he squanders all this money could explain why he's been bankrupt multiple times.
well, the
But
good thing,
now he's doing it with a nation.
yeah, the good thing about that for him is that he doesn't have to worry about going bankrupt himself because he's using our money. Great.
Yeah.
Great. Now, Bernie Sanders heard about this, and Bernie Sanders, he ain't fucking happy. No. He actually wrote a very scathing op-ed about this, saying that workers should be incredibly nervous about this deal. He said, quote, instead of a damn tax, the company will be rewarded with a damn tax cut. Wow. How's that for standing up for corporate greed? How's that for punishing corporations that shut down in the United States and move abroad? In essence, United Technologies, which by the way is a company that owns Carrier, and I'll get to them later, took Trump hostage and won. And that should send a shockwave of fear throughout all workers across the country. Trump has endangered the jobs of workers who were previously safe in the United States. Why? Because he has signaled to every corporation in America that they can threaten to offshore jobs in exchange for business-friendly tax benefits and incentives. Every corporation even corporations that weren't thinking of offshoring jobs will most probably be reevaluating their stance this morning. And who would pay for the high cost of tax cuts that go to the richest businessmen in America? The working class of America. Sanders goes on to further point out that Carrier's parent company, United Technologies, has some contracts with the government that that Donald Trump could have used as leverage in these negotiations. Again, I thought he was supposed to be good at negotiations.
Believe me.
But he's not very good. Basically, he could have said either keep your jobs here or lose your government contracts, which are worth billions of dollars. Instead, Donald Trump again blundered us into a bad deal. Now, it's fine if he blunders himself into a bad deal, but he just took the nation with us. Oh, Jesus. Now, Sanders wrote, let's be clear, United Technologies is not going broke. Last year, it made a profit of $7.6 billion and received more than $6 billion in defense contracts. It has also received more than $50 million from the Export-Import Bank and very generous tax breaks. In 2014, United Technologies gave its former chief executive, Louis Chenevert, a golden parachute worth more than $172 million. Last year, the company's 5 highest paid executives made more than $50 million apiece. The firm also spent $12 billion to inflate its own stock prices instead of using that money to invest in new plants and in workers. He concludes by saying, does this sound like a company that deserves more corporate welfare from our government? Trump's Band-Aid solution is only making the problem of wealth inequality in America even worse. And I think I think Bernie Sanders nailed that shit. Hey everybody, thanks for watching this video. If you want to see more like this, please hit the subscribe button below. And if you want to support truly independent, non-corporate media, go to our Patreon page and become a patron. Patreon.com/TYTNation.